The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users, on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you're encouraged to post your comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. And boy, lately there's been a lot of debate about almost everything I've posted, including today's proposition that it doesn't matter who's right or wrong about the controversy over global warming. It doesn't matter. That's what I say. See why. Go to GaryBaumgarten.com, read about it, and then place your bets. Your comments. And thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I want to welcome you to the show. Very important show we have going today, because so many people are depressed over the state of the economy. In fact, when I booked our guest, who's going to be with us in a moment, Dr. Judith Orloff, she's a psychiatrist in private practice in California. I brought her on because she wrote a new book called Emotional Freedom, and it was really to help people who were fearful about losing their jobs due to the downturn in the economy. Well, now we have people who are fearful they're going to lose their jobs, people who have lost their jobs, people who are fearful they're going to lose their homes, people who have lost their homes, people who are fearful that they're going to lose their portfolios, their life savings. I got to tell you, there's a fella I know, use him as an example. He's a very conservative Republican. Did not vote for, nor did he support Barack Obama. But after Obama was elected, he said, it's time to put this rhetoric aside. It's time to support the President of the United States. He is my president as well as everyone else's president. Just because I supported John McCain does not mean that he is not my president. He is. And it's wrong to attack him, as some people continue to do after the election and into the time that he was sworn in. Well, he's only been in office for a little over a month, and he has not turned the economy around. And this guy says to me, every time Barack Obama opens his mouth, my portfolio becomes smaller, because the stock exchange contracts. I wish this guy would just shut up. He's driving me crazy. He's the worst president we've ever had in the history of the United States. And I go, calm down. Now, like I'm talking to a child. That's okay. It'll get better sooner or later. It's unbelievable how this guy is reacting. As many of you know, I'm from Detroit originally. The area there is not going through an economic recession. It's going through an economic depression. And with that depression comes emotional depression. I can't tell you the number of people I know who did not buy houses with adjustable rate mortgages, but because the value of their homes has decreased, they're paying more on that house than it's worth. They may have lost income because of circumstances beyond their control. They'd like to downsize perhaps to a house that's more affordable, but they can't afford to do that either because they can't sell their house, because the house, what they owe on the house, is more than the value of the house. Well, they're depressed. And so it's not just, as Dr. Judith Orloff and I discussed, that we would discuss today, about people who are fearful about losing their jobs. Since the book came out, more and more people have lost their jobs. Dr. Judith Orloff, we thank you for joining us on News Talk Online at Paltalk.com to help us through this problem. The Dow dipped below 7,000. Another reason for me to be depressed today, Dr. Judith.
Yes, well, it's great to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
So, I think you heard most of that introduction, and you heard the example I gave of this fella who just can't stand it because he keeps losing tens of thousands of dollars by doing nothing because the stock market keeps declining, and he is in a panic. I mean, I don't even want to talk to him about politics or the economy because he just goes loony-kazoony on me. I don't know if that's a technical term that you psychiatrists use or not, but I presume that this fellow is not atypical in this economy.
Oh, no. I mean, I wrote Emotional Freedom because our world is in an emotional and financial meltdown. And over 30 million people have been prescribed Prozac in the last year. So that's very significant. I mean, depression is rampant out there. Panic is rampant. Anxiety is rampant. And there are real reasons for it. However, what I'm suggesting in Emotional Freedom is that we have a choice about how we respond. It's one thing to swirl out of control with all the fear that comes at you from the news. I mean, there's doom and gloom everywhere. It's coming at you. But you can make a choice about how you handle that. You know, I think that people are addicted to fear. I think they keep watching all of the cable channels and all the news constantly because of the addiction to the adrenaline rush of fear. And so with Emotional Freedom, it's really important to take a breath, to own the moment, to say, all right, I have control of my thoughts here, and I'm going to shift out of this fear mode and turn it around a little bit and look at what I have to be grateful for, or look at the love that I have in my life, my wife or my child or my dog or my health or my breath, you know, because there's so many things that can upset you, and if you catastrophize about it and keep projecting that into the future, it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy.
The guest is Dr. Judith Orloff, Orloff, the author of the new book, Emotional Freedom, Liberate Yourself from Negative Emotions and Transform Your Life. And it's interesting because just yesterday, not last night, I re-screened, I've seen it several times before, the film Gandhi. And one of the things that Gandhi did was he there was just an inner peace and strength about him that allowed him to get through times that were constant turmoil around him, where lives were really being lost as a result of decisions that were being made, and he was obviously a major player in affecting those decisions or making decisions. And the way he kind of went into it was kind of a form of meditation. Even the very touching scene not far from the end of the movie when his wife lay on the mat dying, and he is in the corner meditating before spending